You ever wonder what makes your neighborhood or your group of friends a community? It's like this invisible glue that connects us all. It's something we all feel, but sometimes it's hard to put into words. So today, we're going to break that down.
All right, let's just dive right in with a question for you. Think about where you live. What is it that turns a bunch of houses on a street into a real community? Is it the local park where everyone hangs out, the corner store, or just the way people nod and say hello? Keep that in your head as we go.
You know, when you boil it all down, it comes back to one simple fact about us humans. We are absolutely wired for connection. We're not built to be alone. We're social creatures who just naturally create relationships and groups, and that basic need is the foundation for every single community on the planet.
So, what that really means is a community isn't just some spot on a map. It's more like a team. It's a bunch of people, yeah, in a shared space, but what really holds them together are these shared rules, the same values, and just that powerful feeling of belonging.
Okay, so that's the big idea. But what does community actually look like in the real world? Let's kick things off with a place millions and millions of people call home, the big city.
And here it is, our first example, the urban community. A city is a permanent place to live, for sure. But the things that really make it a city are how many people are packed in and the incredible variety of people you'll find. I mean, it's this huge melting pot where tons of different lives cross paths every single day.
But you might be wondering, what's the official rule book? When does a place officially get to be called a city? Well, according to the Census of India, there are a few key things. First up, population. You need at least 50,000 people.
Second, all those people have to be packed in pretty tight. The population density has to be at least 1,000 people per square mile. That is a lot of neighbors.
And then there's the third rule, and this one's a real game changer. For a place to be a city, most of the people working there can't be in farming. The whole economy has to be driven by other things, like factories, shops, and all kinds of services. That's what really sets it apart.
So, how in the world did our cities get so massive? Well, a huge piece of the puzzle, a massive force that changed everything, was industrialization. The rise of factories was the engine.
It was like a chain reaction, really. First, new industries and factories popped up, and they needed workers. That pulled people in from villages, all looking for jobs. And as more and more people arrived, these places just had to grow, expanding into the sprawling cities we see today.
All right, let's completely shift gears now. We're going to leave the hustle and bustle of the city behind and explore a totally different kind of community, what many call the true cornerstone of Indian society, the village.
This right here is what we call a rural community. It's usually a small group of people living in a pretty defined area, and life is, well, simpler. And the key thing to get here is that agriculture isn't just a job, it's everything. It shapes the whole way of life.
I mean, you can just feel how different this is from the city, right? Life moves at a different pace, guided by nature and old traditions. And because the community is so small and everyone knows each other, relationships tend to be really close-knit and supportive. And putting them side by side like this really makes the differences pop. In the city, life is fast, often anonymous. In the village, it's simpler, more connected. The jobs are different, the relationships are different, and even the family structure is different. You see more of those large, multi-generational, undivided families in villages. They're just two completely different worlds.
Okay, for our last stop, we're really going off the beaten path. We're heading far away from the cities and towns, deep into the forests, valleys, and hills to explore tribal communities.
So what are we talking about here? Well, tribal communities are groups of people, often living in a particular area, who have their own distinct language, their own culture, their own way of doing things. And get this, it's a pretty amazing fact. Right after Africa, India has the largest number of tribal people in the entire world.
The real glue for these communities is this incredible sense of unity. It's all built on a shared identity, speaking the same language, sharing the same culture and beliefs, and living a life that's very self-contained and deeply connected to their land.
And these communities aren't just in one spot. They're all over the country. You've got tribes in Nagaland in the northeast, groups like the Santhals and Bhils in central India, and all the way down south, the Salaga and Todava tribes. Each region is home to these incredible, unique groups.
Wow. So think about what we've seen. The buzzing city, the quiet village, the close-knit tribe. 3 totally different worlds, right?
They're so distinct from one another, but they all exist together, weaving this complex and beautiful social fabric that makes up our society. So, knowing all this helps us make sense of our world, but it also leaves us with this one huge question to chew on. In a time of internet and global travel, when our world feels like it's getting smaller every day, what will the community of the future even look like? What's going to hold us together? Definitely something to think about.